Hey my friends, it's Ty Hicks, founder of Mastering Ethical and Lasting Influence, Financial Mastery University, National Influence Trainer and Results Coach. Thank you so much for being here. Today what I wanted to do is tackle a topic that's so important for all of us to keep in mind. And that is how to create inertia and momentum in your life. And what I want you to understand is, well, let me back up and let me ask you a question. Have you ever wanted to do something in your life, wanted to move things forward, wanted to create a behavior or a habit or a routine, or wanted to go after something, but then you kind of said, well, someday I'll do that. Someday in the future, who knows when, who knows at what time, but yeah, someday I'll do that. And you kind of indefinitely put this goal off into the future. All right, well, this is what we like to call the law of diminishing intent, where if you don't take action on something as soon as the intention is hot, then you are very much assuredly not going to take action on it. And that's what I want you to understand. I am hopefully in these videos giving you a little bit of the user's manual for the brain that you didn't get in grade school. And what I can tell you about the human brain is it has a tendency to fall into someday syndrome, where it says, yep, someday I will do that. But the thing is, has that ever worked for you in the past? Maybe a few times you've looped back around and you actually did end up taking action on that thing. But how much time did you lose in between when you knew it needed to happen and when it actually did happen? And those are the rare occurrences when you actually did execute when you originally set the intention. So how do you get out of this? First of all, understand that that's what the mind is going to do. The mind is going to try to say, oh, well, some point in the future. But think about what happens in that moment. What better time to pursue the goal than right when inspiration hits you? That is when the intention is clear. That is when you know what you need to do. That is when you are fully aligned behind the necessity of pursuing what it is that you want to pursue. Why in the world would you put that off to another date? That's like showing up to work, getting ready, you're there, you're excited, you're energized in the morning, and then saying, oh, well, you know what, I think I'll actually just put that off until 11 p.m. tonight, and then I'll start working. That's the worst time to do it. The time to do it is right then, when it's intentional, when it's there, when inspiration strikes. And you know what happens in those moments? There becomes a sort of psychological opening, like a doorway. It's like, oh, inspiration just struck me. If you saw my video on infinite intelligence, check that out, because you can actually start to create this experience where you constantly are getting new ideas fed to you that build the fire, so to speak, and kind of feed the beast and create this inertia to go after these things that you want to go after. But the point being, when that insight hits you, you've got two choices. The first choice is to say, oh, that's nice, but I'll put that off and somehow I'll try to tell myself I'll remember later on, and I probably won't. Or to open the door further and continue to peek in and continue to build momentum in that area. And all of a sudden, now you're on a roll. If you continue to pursue that inertia, it opens up new possibilities. The more you do, the more you can do, right? So train your brain, condition it, create a new habit that says, that's something I want to do it right then and there. In your business environment, very often what will happen is, I found in my company, we'd be in a meeting and some idea would come up and we'd say, oh yeah, we should really talk about that sometime as well as a sidebar. And I'd say, well, let's talk about it right now. You're sitting here, I'm sitting here, it's fresh on our minds. What better time to settle that than right at this minute? And by doing that, what we do is we save time. We close loops. We reduce the amount of psychological space that's being occupied by our tasks, right? And instead, we're just getting into a flow state where it's constantly moving from moment to moment to moment of purposeful action. That's where you want to be, my friends. That's when the entire game changes. So get out of someday syndrome, strike while the iron is hot, and start that path to inertia. When you start conditioning your brain to take action immediately as soon as inspiration hits, eventually it will become its default reaction, and you will have no idea how much momentum you can start to build once this happens. So I hope this is helpful. What have you been putting off that you need to take action on right now. Do it now. Here's your trigger. Go forward, live with purpose today, my friends. I'll see you next time.